Hey everyone, welcome back to Medician, your trusted medical information channel. Today, in the final episode of the Xolair for Food Allergy series, the focus is on $1 million question. Can allergic foods be eaten while on Xolair? This episode will also look ahead at exciting developments in the future of food allergy care. I'm Dr. Lin, a board-certified allergist and immunologist, and most importantly, a proud YouTuber dedicating to helping you no matter the distance between you and me. If you missed the previous episodes covering the OUtMATCH trial, patient eligibility, and Xolair dosing, be sure to check it out, link above. Now, let's dive in. As discussed in episode 2, the FDA-approved labeling for Xolair in food allergy clearly state that it must be used in conjunction with continued allergen avoidance. But here's something to think about. In the OUtMATCH trial, patients taking Xolair were intentionally challenged with foods they are allergic to, and many were able to tolerate them. This raised one of the most common and important questions patients ask before or even during treatment. Can I eat some of my allergic foods while on Xolair? To answer this, let's revisit episode 1 and 2 and highlight some key points. In episode 1, Palforzia was introduced as the first FDA-approved peanut oral immunotherapy in January 2020, before Xolair received its approval for food allergy in 2024. Oral immunotherapy is also considered a novel treatment for food allergy patients. So what is oral immunotherapy? Well, similar to allergy shots for environmental allergens, oral immunotherapy gradually increases body's tolerance by regularly exposing patients to scheduled amount of food allergen by mouth. Taking the Palforzia package insert as an example, allergists and immunologists use this method to build tolerance. As for how to assess its effectiveness, just like the OUtMATCH trial, patients are challenged with increasing dose of the food allergen to see how much they can tolerate compared to their baseline. One important thing to clarify, in the real-world practice, neither Xolair nor oral immunotherapy like Palforzia requires an oral food challenge before or after treatment. So do not worry. Oral food challenges are only mandatory in research settings where allergists and immunologists are trying to measure treatment efficacy. Although Palforzia is currently only approved for peanut allergy, many academic centers and private practices use similar protocols to treat other food allergies in research or off-label settings. However, a major challenge with oral immunotherapy is the risk of side effects, ranging from mild to moderate gastrointestinal symptoms to severe systemic allergic reactions. These side effects can make some patients uncomfortable and may even cause some to stop treatment. So why bring up oral immunotherapy here? Because multiple studies have shown that when Xolair is combined with oral immunotherapy, it may help to reduce side effects and even speed up the desensitization process due to its distinct mechanism, as discussed in episode 1. Given all this, if Xolair can increase food allergy threshold, minimize oral immunotherapy-related side effects, and maintain a strong safety profile, why is it still recommended not to eat allergic food freely while on Xolair? Now, let's take a close look at the OUtMATCH trial from episode 2. In the trial, 67% of participants on Xolair were able to tolerate 600 milligrams of peanut protein. But here's what many may not know. This was not the final dose in the food challenge. If a patient tolerated the initial amount, the dose increased as tolerated until a maximum challenge dose was reached. When continuing on the oral food challenge, even more impressively, 64% of participants tolerate up to 2,000 milligrams and 57% tolerated up to 4,000 milligrams with a cumulative total of 6,044 milligrams. That is equivalent about 15 peanuts, which is a lot of peanuts. Impressive, right? But here's the flip side. About 1 in 7 patients experience moderate to severe symptoms and could not tolerate just 30 milligrams of peanut during the final oral food challenge. In the trial, this would generally be considered a Xolair treatment failure. In the extended trial phase, known as the open-label extension, suggesting that for some patients, the tolerance may not sustain over time. In summary, while some patients taking Xolair may significantly increase their threshold for food allergens, others, especially those with severe food allergies, may still need to avoid certain food entirely. It is not a free pass to eat all allergic food. That is why a personalized plan for each food, with some food potentially tolerable and others not, and expert medical guidance are critical. This decision goes beyond what the FDA label alone can address. So what is the answer to this question? You may be able to eat some allergic foods while on Xolair, but only under a well-monitored plan or protocol developed by your doctor or in a research setting. Now, let's talk about what future holds. First, it is important to know that OUtMATCH trial is a multi-phase study. Phase 1 evaluates single agent Xolair used for food allergy, which has already been covered. Now, Phase 2, a head-to-head comparison of Xolair versus multi-food oral immunotherapy, is underway and showing early results. In early 2025, preliminary findings from Phase 2 were presented. The results conclude that Xolair was superior to multi-allergen oral immunotherapy in treating multiple food allergies. This conclusion was largely due to the higher rate of side effects in the oral immunotherapy group. Although the term superior may be subject to different interpretation, since oral immunotherapy does have its own benefits, there is no denying that Xolair demonstrated a stronger safety profile. That makes sense, considering that oral immunotherapy requires patients to consume the very food they are originally allergic to. Looking ahead, as more data from Phase 2 and Phase 3 of the OUtMATCH trial becomes available, clear guidance are expected on how to include Xolair in broader food allergy treatment plans. Still thinking that sounds too far away? Want something to change now? Here is some exciting news. On March 9, 2025, the FDA approved Celltrion's OMLYCLO as the first interchangeable biosimilar to Xolair. OMLYCLO is approved for the same indications, including food allergy, as the original versions of Xolair. With more biosimilars coming to the market, treatment is expected to become more affordable and accessible for food allergy patients. And that concludes today's discussion and this series on whether allergic food can be eaten while on Xolair, and what the future may hold for food allergy treatment. If this series was helpful, be sure to like, subscribe, and leave a comment below with your thoughts. Let's keep the conversation going. See you next time.